A magnetic compass points in the direction of the local magnetic field. A magnetic compass is influenced by all magnetic sources in its vicinity and aligns itself according to the net magnetic field at that location. If no strong magnetic source is in the vicinity, the needle will then and only then point toward the magnetic North Pole. The half-life of iodine 131, I-131 for short, is 8 days. It would take approximately 40 days for 16 milligrams of I-31 to decay to half milligram of I-131. If the amount of I-31 is reduced by half every 8 days, 8 milligrams in 8 days, 4 milligrams in 16 days, 2 milligrams in 24 days, 1 milligram in 32 days, half milligram in 40 days. A gaseous product of the fermentation of sugar is carbon dioxide. The fermentation of sugar by yeast produces ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Fermentation is the conversion of sugar into carbon dioxide gas, CO2, and ethyl alcohol, the same process used in brewing some alcoholic beverages. In the complex series of conversions by the yeast enzymes, the yeast cells gain energy from the breakdown of the sugar. The resulting CO2 byproduct bubbles through the liquid and dissipates into the air. The other byproduct, alcohol, remains in the liquid and eventually kills the yeast when the amount of alcohol exceeds the yeast tolerance level. Nitrates can be very useful as fertilizers. Nitrogen in the soil must be replaced by nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the roots of legumes. That is spelled L-E-G-U-M-E-S. Legumes, or by artificial fertilizer containing nitrates. The number of atoms in a molecule of CuSO4 by 5H2O is 21. The hydrate CuSO4 by 5H2O contains 6 atoms in the salt CuSO4. Formula: 1Cu plus 1S plus 4O. The 5 loosely bonded water molecules contain 15 atoms. Equation: 10H plus 5O. The total number of atoms is 6 plus 15 equals 21. Cu equals copper. S equals sulfur. O equals oxygen. H equals hydrogen. Which substance can be used to treat drinking water of questionable purity? Iodine. Can be used to treat drinking water of questionable purity. Iodine crystals in a small bottle of water make a saturated aqueous solution. A few milliliters of this solution added to a quart of water will destroy most organisms in an hour. A viral infection in humans, characterized by a very long time between initial exposure and the exhibition of symptoms, is AIDS. A person exposed to the AIDS virus will take up to 6 months to show antibodies in the blood serum and 2 to 5 years, possibly even longer, to show externally observable symptoms. Note, viruses are not affected by antibiotics. The beneficial relationship between termites and the protozoa that inhibit their digestive systems is called symbiosis. Symbiosis is a mutually beneficial relationship in which organisms of different species live together and benefit each other. Erosion and depletion are problems associated with soil conservation. Soil is eroded by the action of wind, water, and ice. It may also be depleted by the removal of organic matter or minerals, such as through over-farming. The particle with a positive charge in the nucleus of an atom is a proton. The nucleus of an atom contains protons, which have a positive electrical charge, and neutrons, which have no electrical charge. Electrons, which have a negative charge, circle the nucleus in what is known as the orbital shell. The 4 forces that act on an aircraft in flight are lift, up, gravity, down, thrust, forward, and drag, resisting forward motion. Electrons have a negative charge. Protons have a positive charge, and neutrons have no electrical charge. Antibodies identify and neutralize foreign objects inside the body. Humans and other vertebrates have an immune system that uses antibodies to fight bacteria, viruses, toxins, and other foreign objects. Antibodies are complex Y-shaped protein molecules that develop from plasma cells, which in turn develop from B lymphocytes produced by the bone marrow. The plasma cells can generate a large array of different antibodies, each of which can combine with and destroy an antigen, foreign molecule. Antibodies react to specific characteristics of different antigens, binding them to the top ends of their Y-shaped form. Once the antibody and antigen combine, the antibody deactivates the antigen or leads it to macrophages, spelling of macrophages, macrophages, a type of white blood cell, that ingest and destroy it. A gamete is a cell that fuses with another gamete during fertilization. Gametes, spelled Gametes. Gametes are reproductive cells that unite during sexual reproduction to form a new cell called zygote, a fertilized egg. In humans, male gametes are sperm, and female gametes are ova, eggs. What is the smallest particle of matter that retains the chemical properties, characteristics of a particular element? An atom. Molecules are made up of two or more atoms, and electrons are particles within the atom. An isotope is one of two or more atoms of the same element that have the same atomic number. For example, the same number of protons, but a different number of neutrons.